Good morning, friends and partners of Richmond Community Schools. I'm Dr. Wright, School Superintendent, and your presence here this morning speaks volumes to the commitment that you continue to make, not only to our school corporation, but to the faculty, staff, students, and our parent and guardian stakeholders. The quest and the journey, as we know, is ever-ending. I just shared with a few outside that the road to success, as we know, is always under construction. And there are 3 tenets that I'll embark upon here shortly: humility, self-service, and resiliency, that continue to embody all that we do. But before I continue, I would like to briefly acknowledge the roster of leaders that will join me this morning to highlight how our metaphoric village is raising its children. As we used to say on the East Side, and you all have heard me before reference the joyous times that I had out of the skating rink, but as a young kid, and again being a middle child, there were so many things that I was left out, and many of my peer group were left out on when the cool kids were out roller skating out at the skate. However, when that DJ would yell out, "Okay, everyone, it's an all skate," at that point, everyone lit up, and the joy that we all had in being able to go out and roller skate and be together has been and was unmatched even then. We're going to try to create that same joy this morning with the roster of leaders that will come up and join me and share how they too are contributing to the success of our students. And so with that, and let me grab my Steve Urkel glasses as you all have come to know them to be. The roster includes Dr. Ron Oler, Mayor of our city; Chief Kyle Weatherly of the Richmond Police Department; Chief Jeff Kinder of the Richmond Fire Department; Elizabeth Markwood, our Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Education; Mr. Sam Pritchard, our Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Education; Mrs. Karen Scalf, our Assistant Superintendent of Operations. We also have Ms. Cassie Loudermilk and Ms. Carrie Wolf, our co-directors of Special Education; Stacy Mops, our Director of Human Resources; Melissa Swafford, our Director of Finance; Superman Steve Jones, as he is being known, as he has transitioned into his new role, is our Director of Operations, and he also is here with us this morning. Alex Hazelbaker, our Director of Technology; and last but not least, Ms. Bridget Hazelbaker, our Director of Student Support Services and Communications. Please give them a round of applause. I would also like to thank our courageous Board of School Trustees: Kim Pickering, Austin Brand, Nicole Stoltz, Aaron Stevens, John Weber, Kristen Brunton, and Michael Eloriaga. Without their courage, without their commitment, and without their continued support and unwavering resources and guidance, none of this would be possible. I know that our school board, again, continues to serve and has continued to serve the best interest of our students. And I'm going to ask at this moment that Ms. Nicole Stoltz, our secretary of the board, come before us for a few words. Mrs. Stoltz.
All right, this is impromptu, so thank you. I guess with the all skate theme, what I want to hear, or what I want to say this morning is just thank you. There's a lot of gratitude in my heart right now, just for the partnerships and the collaboration that happens in this community. If we did not have the partnerships that are represented here in this room, we wouldn't be where we are. We would not be able to do the work that we're doing for the students, for our families, for Richmond. And so hopefully what you're hearing this morning, along with where we are, is where we're heading, and also that you're a part of it. So thank you for being here and for all you do.
Thank you, Mrs. Stoltz. Again, as I mentioned, humility, self-service, and resiliency. Those have been the tenets that we have embodied on a daily basis. Our faculty and staff wear such lanyards on a daily basis that exemplify those 3 tenets. And beyond and with those 3 tenets, our visionary perspective remains consistent. This is and will be our guiding light as we continue to move into the 2025-2026 school season. It begins with academic success and quality Tier 1 instruction, or in other words, great classroom teaching. When push comes to shove, as we know, our teachers are our most impactful people and most important people in each classroom. When they have, as is found with teacher efficacy and as is found with the Pygmalion effect, if you are not familiar with the Pygmalion effect, when our teachers believe that every student can and will be successful, as research shows, success comes to the fray. With data-informed decision-making, we will continue to press forward in allowing data to inform our decisions. Being a data mining and data cultivating corporation is something that we also continue to master. Systemic alignment. Last year, for the first time in more than 30 years, our kindergarten through 8th grade curriculum, that's the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, were aligned. What that does, from a vertical articulated standpoint, is allows for consistency as our students are moving along. And we'll continue with such consistency. And most importantly, work so that with and through systemic alignment, our systems and structures are sustainable. That's one of the tricks of the trade, I know within you all's professions, as well as even with ours, is sustainability and maintaining such momentum. With student service, student care, and student satisfaction, I know in the business world, for you all, it's customer service, customer care, and customer satisfaction. We just flip it, but have the same mindset and the same meaning. It's about selfless service, which is, again, one of our major tenets, selfless service. Social emotional supports, by far, here in our county, and I would put us up against anyone else in the state and in the country for that matter, especially with our poverty rates. The social emotional supports that we provide and that you all provide as community partners with Richmond Community Schools is unmatched. Our students, when they come in, leave better than what others may believe. And that's because of the, again, as Mrs. Stoltz alluded to, the partnerships, the commitments that you all have made in your sectors to partner and couple with us to move the work. I've said and will continue to say, we are privileged. We have a very challenging task ahead of us. Each day, we have everyone's most prized possession, their children, at our disposal, if you will. And their safety and security is something that is paramount. We'll get into that a little bit more. Most importantly, what we're trying to do is instill an intellectual confidence with all of our students, making sure that they can and will succeed through adversity and through setbacks, and doing it with grace. Because after all, they're youngsters, they're kids. They are going through adolescence and puberty and the pimple phase and all the other stuff that comes with the embarrassing times of middle school. I had a high top fade back then. I'm so glad it's gone. I missed some of the other hairstyles, but I'm content with this one. With that being said, targeting our future, again, quite simple. It still comes down to student achievement. That's where we have the most control. And if all the other spheres are in line and in place, operational sustainability, culture and climate, professional growth, if all those are aligning, then again, student outcomes will continue to rise. For me, again, as I mentioned, and this preludes into our first speaker, for me, it comes down to keeping our students safe. You ask our faculty and staff, they will tell you that I implore upon them to keep our students safe, not just physically and not just emotionally, but keep them intellectually safe, making sure that as classroom teachers, as educators, as administrators, we are coming prepared on a daily basis. We can't afford to have an off day. There's no such thing, because students will see right through it, and they will call you out on it. They're quite ornery at times. But again, making sure that our students are safe, and as I mentioned before, that on a daily basis we're returning them back to their parents and guardians and stakeholders better than what we receive them as. And so we'll get into a little bit of that. I don't want to steal any thunder from those who will be coming behind me. As I mentioned before, I cannot thank you all enough for being here to also help highlight what it is that we have done and will continue to do. We also have State Senator Jeff Rotz and Representative Dr. Brad Barrett, who also at the state level has continued to keep Richmond Community Schools, all of Wayne County, and their respective constituencies in places to be successful. They're fighting that good fight at the state level, and we definitely appreciate you all doing that. Sheriff Ritter, Major, we appreciate you all's presence, and again, we are going to have some fun moving forward. With that being said, please join me in a round of applause in welcoming our first speaker, Dr. Ron Oler, Mayor of Richmond.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. I have a couple of new thoughts based upon what you said that aren't in my prepared notes. So let me start with this. During my 30 years of teaching in college, I had an opportunity 15 years ago or so to do my CV to get full professor tenureship. And how many teachers are in the room here today? How many teachers? Good deal. One of the sections was about teaching, and I remember this quote I wrote, this thing I came up with, and it really helped seal the deal. When I get in front of a classroom, I never let my teaching interfere with my students' learning. So there's something you can take home today. Maybe that'll help you. And roller skating, I was a skateboarder. Who wants to see that again? I might need a paramedic. Anyways, thank you all for being here today, and those watching online, thank you WCTV for being here. The 2024-2025 school year at RCS was marked with many changes, including some new partnerships with the city of Richmond I'm proud to talk about. The first thing that stands out in my memory is the transfer of Wright Stadium from the city's park department to the high school. With this transfer, RCS was able to invest around $500,000 in renovations that the city hadn't been able to do because of property tax caps for the last 15 years. But with the renovations, a new semi-pro team is coming to Wright Stadium after a long hiatus. Creative thinking by community leaders made this possible, and I've been warming up my throwing arm with our Chief Kinder, our semi-pro player, for the May 2026 opening day, so everybody should be there. That'll be a hoot. Another partnership will be presented by Chief of the Police Department, but I'll let Chief Weatherly discuss that new venture. But speaking of new ventures, the city's redevelopment commission just last week authorized funding for RCS students to take welding and healthcare classes at Ivy Tech. With all the changes in how the state is funding higher education, it's important to remember that what we do locally to improve workforce readiness improves the lives of all East Central Indiana residents. I'm looking forward to the 2025-2026 school year in our community, and I hope you are too. A city on a hill cannot be hidden, and a community built on a rich mound, it's up to us to help our community thrive. By embracing opportunities with optimism, determination, and unity, we can ensure a brighter, stronger Richmond for all. Thank you, everyone, for your dedication, and here's to the future of our Richmond, Indiana.
My hand definitely shot up when Dr. Oler stated that he'd roller skate, or skateboard, I should say, for our students. And so thank you, Dr. Oler. Next up, and again, as Dr. Oler alluded to, we extended our partnerships with law enforcement this past year, and we have continued to, yet again, keep our students physically safe. So please join me in a round of applause for Chief Kyle Weatherly of the Richmond Police Department.
Good morning. It's a privilege to be here with you this morning on behalf of the Richmond Police Department as we celebrate the strength, resilience, and the future of Richmond Community Schools. As we prepare to welcome students back for another school year, I want to begin by expressing our gratitude to Superintendent Wright, to the board, to the dedicated educators and staff, and to the parents and families who give their all to support the young people of this city. This year brings new energy to our collective mission, not only in the classroom, but in how we work together to protect, support, and empower every student. In January of 2025, the Richmond Police Department proudly stepped into a new role as the safety and law enforcement partner for the Richmond Community Schools. It's a responsibility we do not take lightly. And one we view as a natural extension of our core belief: one community, one team. We didn't step in to change direction. We stepped in to walk alongside, to strengthen what's working, and to build new layers of support where needed. Because when it comes to protecting children, there is no room for division, only teamwork. This partnership would not have come together without the steady leadership and collaboration of city leaders. I want to take a moment to recognize Mayor Dr. Ron Oler, whose vision and commitment to unity played a key role in bringing this effort to life. That's why we've entrusted the work to some of the best officers we have, men who bring not only skill, but heart. Lieutenant Austin Lips serves as the supervisor of our School Resource Officer program. Austin is not just a ranking officer, he is a liaison, a bridge builder, a problem solver whose leadership has been instrumental in aligning public safety with educational priorities. Let me also proudly introduce the officers serving in our schools this year. Officer Jared Smith at Dennis Intermediate School, Officer David Spradling at Test Intermediate School, Officer Billy Hampton at Community Youth Services, or Baxter as many of us know it. These officers are present not just to enforce laws, but to build relationships. They are in your hallways, not just as protectors, but as mentors and partners. Our officers receive specialized training in de-escalation, trauma-informed practices, and working with youth. They understand that being effective in a school environment is about more than presence. It's about trust, it's about listening, it's about knowing that sometimes the most important thing we can do is simply show up day after day with consistency and care. We are not in your schools to take over. We are with your schools to lift up. Our role is to support, to reinforce a culture of safety that's already rooted in compassion and excellence. As a parent, as a neighbor, and as someone who has spent a lifetime serving this community, I understand what's at stake. Every child who walks into these schools deserves to learn, grow, and dream in an environment where they are safe, supported, and believed in. That's what drives us. So let me say this clearly. Richmond schools are not just safe, they are sacred. And the responsibility to protect them is one we carry with seriousness, pride, and purpose. The partnership between Richmond Police and Richmond Community Schools is built on more than shared goals. It's built on shared values. And as this year unfolds, we will continue working together with transparency, accountability, and respect. Because safety isn't something you assign, it's something you cultivate together. To our educators, our staff, our students, and our families, we are proud to stand with you. Let's move forward into this school year with hope, with unity, and with the unwavering belief that our future is worth protecting. One community, one team. Thank you, and have a safe and exceptional school year.
And again, as Chief Weatherly referenced, the relationship and rapport that continues to build with our law enforcement community and our students and our parents and guardians is just unmatched in our county. And like I said, I'd put it up against the state. Next up is Chief Jeff Kinder of the Richmond Fire Department.
I'll say good morning again, if I can get this high enough for my tall person. I'm an honest guy. I straight shoot from the hip, honest, and as Mayor Ron, he calls it a strength and a weakness in me because I'm honest. Right now, I'd rather be running into a burning building than stand in front and speaking to all you guys. It's just true. Okay. So, that being said, I want to thank Superintendent Dr. Wright for the opportunity to speak. It's an honor to speak today about something that truly reflects one of the strengths of Richmond. The relationship between the Richmond Fire Department, Richmond schools, and our community. The Richmond Fire Department has long been more than just a city service that responds to emergencies. We are mentors, we are educators, and we are also community leaders. We work very hard to become a beacon for the community that we serve. Over the last 10 years, we've built a great partnership with Richmond High School that extends beyond safety drills and safety talks, whether it's through the career days of educational programs, training programs, or youth outreach. We are helping the students to see what it means to serve, to lead with courage and compassion. The Richmond High School students that are part of the Richmond Fire EMS training program, through our collaboration through the Career Center, just don't learn from textbooks, they learn from real-life heroes. The department hosts ride-alongs and helps students explore careers in firefighting and emergency services. Their interactions give young people the very valuable knowledge, but more importantly, they build trust and respect. That relationship also has a ripple effect through the school and our community. When students feel connected to our first responders, they bring awareness with them. This helps by making the relationship between students and first responders in the community even stronger and with more pride. I'm going to close with this. We will continue to strive with these programs to our absolute best, build our future. We measure success by the commitment of the students and the participation and the growth of these programs. This would not be possible without the hard work and commitment from the school and administration. We're trying to build our future, one kid at a time, one person at a time, and we work very hard at it. And we can't be more proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Kinder. I'm going to lower this back down to my 6'4" frame. But as Chief Kinder referenced, they literally run to the fire. Metaphorically, we as educators oftentimes talk about the fires that we put out. Literally, you all put them out and put them out for our city as well as so many other services. And so we are truly grateful and indebted. Next up, you're going to hear from Mr. Sean Dingworth, who he and Mr. Lance Crow and so many others have made it possible for us to be here. And their vision, as you are seeing it around us, again, is unmatched. Please give me a round of applause for Mr. Sean Dingworth of Wright.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Dr. Wright, if you need help with stylish glasses, just see me.
Yes, sir. Will do.
Welcome to McGuire Memorial Hall, the fine arts wing of Richmond Community Schools, and the original performance auditorium that was dedicated on December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor Day. The building, the third major unit of the senior high school campus, was made possible by a generous donation from Charles A. McGuire. McGuire was a local businessman who donated half of the cost of the building, an example of the vital private-public partnerships that still exist today between the Richmond Art Museum and Richmond Community Schools. More recently, in 2017, RAM and its patrons contributed to a $1.8 million renovation to improve this facility and increase the educational opportunities offered to the students and the public. Like Dr. Wright, I love history. I view history as not only an important measure of where we have been, but more importantly, how do we take that history and make it relevant and exciting today? It is critical that today we leave a legacy to create tomorrow's history. As part of the recent 2022 renovation of McGuire Memorial Hall, RAM commissioned Amy Reinhardt, a graduate of Richmond Community Schools, to depict the cultural and industrial heritage of Richmond that has continued to make the school district one of the most unique in the state. I encourage you to look at the 4 murals, which depict just a few of the many RCS graduates or Richmond residents who went on to establish successful careers in the arts. We are the birthplace of the first high school orchestra in America and the only known public high school in the United States to house an active public art museum. To learn more about the murals and those depicted, there are QR codes at the front posted. These values and priorities of promoting the arts and culture are deeply rooted in our community. The community has and continues to believe that there should be equity in representing the arts as part of a well-rounded education. The arts teach critical thinking skills, foster creativity, and improve school engagement. Art also enhances mental health and well-being. Both Civic and McGuire house some of the most important partnerships with Richmond Community Schools, including Civic Hall Associates, Richmond Art Museum, and the Richmond Symphony Orchestra, who bring countless educational opportunities to students and citizens alike. Today, there are a number of other vital nonprofits or organizations who contribute significantly to the quality of the life of students at the Richmond Community Schools. Together, we are stronger and can gather our individual strengths to offer a wide variety of opportunities for student engagement. Every day, the programs at RAM that we offer are leaving a lasting impact. Our strategic plan specifically addresses our relationship with Richmond Community Schools and our goal to educate all Wayne County youth from kindergarten through 12th grade on the history, cultural impact, diversity, and career opportunities represented through art to inspire a lifelong understanding of passion for art. For many students, RAM is the first and sometimes the only art museum children will encounter. RAM's Art Is program serves nearly 2,300 students annually from kindergarten through 4th grade by teaching a different culture through art using our RAM Van Gogh. It meets 22 academic state standards. The All Wayne County High School art exhibit serves hundreds of high school students and gives them the opportunity to exhibit their work in a museum setting. Over 1,100 high school students participate in Explore RAM, where they are able to visit one exhibition annually. This exhibition is specifically designed for students in mind and contains hands-on interactive component to connect the students with the art. Summer art camps serve over 100 young campers. In addition to these specific programs, over 1,000 students visit the museum through the course of the school year as teachers and other school organizations make use of the galleries for instruction or to refresh or have a break mentally. In total, nearly 5,000 students participate in RAM activities, exhibitions, educational programs every year. Nearly 200 programs are offered. As we all face a challenging future with access to funding, now is the time for us to come together to find more ways to partner. This is what RCS did in the late 1930s as they planned this building. Emerging from the Great Recession of the 1930s and facing the impending challenges of World War II, the leadership at RCS did not pause or hesitate. Rather, they pushed forward with a strong vision and developed unique partnerships within the community to build a school of the future. We find ourselves at that crossroads again today. I challenge all of us to continue forward and not be paralyzed by the overwhelming complexities that our communities are facing. Instead, let's ask ourselves, what will be the legacy we are creating for tomorrow? I can say that the RAM board and leadership, given the opportunity, is prepared to continue to enhance our legacy, to expand our offerings to Richmond citizens and to students. We consider Richmond Community Schools to be our strongest partner, and we are committed to your student body, your staff, and employees to be a place of learning, reflection, and contemplation. I welcome each one of you to take advantage of the offerings at RAM. I encourage you to see the exhibition of Tim Phelps, who is a former Richmond graduate from 1971. You are all welcome. This is your space, and thank you for the time.
Thank you, Mr. Dingworth. And as we conclude, we have a short video presentation regarding the work that RAM continues to do for us. Now we're going to shift to the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. And please join me in welcoming Mr. Sam Pritchard and Mrs. Elizabeth Marquardt, our Assistant Superintendents of Education.
Good morning. So we're going to begin with what's at the center of what we do, which is curriculum and instruction. And as Dr. Wright mentioned in his opening, we are focused on 3 visionary perspective and pillars of systemic alignment and social emotional supports and quality tier 1 instruction. So systemic alignment started a few years ago when we aligned our curriculum, our math curriculum, kindergarten through 8th grade. Last year, we added reading and science to that systemic alignment, and this fosters consistent instruction, equitable outcomes, and smooth transitions across our grade levels. We want to acknowledge the work of our administrators and our teachers for bringing this visionary perspective to life, as it's been an adventure, but they've done an amazing job. So I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for their implementation and seeing this visionary perspective brought to life. Second, we've strengthened our professional development partnerships, kindergarten through 12th grade. We partner with NIET for quality Tier 1 instruction, and then we also partner with Hope Alight, and that supports the pillar for social emotional supports through TBRI implementation. So our teachers are connected to these partnerships and organizations that provide research-based strategies, trauma-informed care practices, and collaborative networks. All right, next we're going to switch to student achievement. And there are many assessments that we use throughout the school year to assess how our students are doing. iLearn is one of those assessments, and that is given to students in grades 3 through 8. So this is our historical iLearn data from 2019 to 2024. 2025 results were just released last week. And statewide data shows that schools across the state showed a slight increase in math, but English language arts remained relatively consistent from the previous year. So last year we were at 24.9% proficiency across grade levels 3 and through 8. This year we were at 24.7. So our English language arts mirrored the state data of just kind of remaining consistent. So while certain grade levels are demonstrating strong performance and we're seeing some notable areas of strength, we also know that there is still very important work to do to close achievement gaps across all of our grade levels.
Well, next up is math, and as you know, the last few years, the Department of Education has focused on reading and implementing the science of reading across the state, offering literacy coaches. Their next project is to focus on math. There'll be math interventions, and there's a math focus across the state, as that is a low mark for most corporations across the state, and this is our historical iLearn data in math. And you can see as of last year, we've grown a little bit, 22.5%, and that's students in grades 3 through 8 across the district. That's how they have performed in math. And the statistics that were just released by the Department of Education last week showed that we grew that to 23.2. So we went up just slightly as a district in math, and we continue to do curricular work in math to make sure this continues to go in the right direction.
All right, so now we're going to jump to iRead, and iRead is our 3rd grade proficiency assessment, which is really important because in 3rd grade, students are transitioning from learning to read to reading to learn. So again, these are historical results from 2018 to 2024. 2025 results have not been released yet. However, we do anticipate continued positive growth, and we're excited about that. We have, again, areas of strength that are showing in our data, and we have those areas of opportunity. And our approach to those areas of opportunity are some intense intervention with those students. They have the opportunity to take the assessment in 2nd grade. So we know the students who didn't pass going into 3rd grade, so we are able to provide them intense intervention. We have great community partnerships with Every Child Can Read, and they are helping us to support our students at our aftercare facilities to give them more additional support. And then also through some family engagement strategies through Title I funding, because we know that success in reading both comes at school and at home.
Whoops. Sorry about that. So next up at the high school, their measure is the SAT. And as you can see at Richmond High School, SAT scores have continued to climb and outpace the state As you can see, the blue line is Richmond Community Schools, which also incorporates some high school students who are at the Baxter Building, along with students at Richmond High School. And while the state average has dropped, we have continued to see growth there as compared to our state partners. This is actually what you're looking at is a composite of the reading and the math combined. Our math scores are a little bit lower than our reading scores in the SAT, as is true across the district. But the latest that came up, we saw a slight dip from 18.4. We've seen a little bit of a dip down to about 13% combined reading and math. And our high school already was aware of this. Students take this SAT as a junior. They take the PSAT as freshmen and sophomores. And the high school staff uses that data to help provide interventions and supports to those students to see those scores grow. And so they have put a new freshman academy in place at Richmond High School, a freshman seminar to kind of help get kids ready for high school and to show a little bit more success on the SAT and get them ready for graduation. And our graduation rate, as you can see, has gone up. Along with the state graduation rates have grown, but our graduation rates here have continued to be, as you can see last year, a couple years ago was 95.7. We anticipate that. I don't know if that's been finalized just yet, but we expect to see that grow up by a percentage or two again yet this year. So that's our end goal, is to make sure that we have quality citizens heading out into our workforce to join you folks.
And again, as was mentioned and as will continue to be alluded to, we're definitely not where we aspire to be and where we will be. Our data is, however, trending northwardly. And in education, small percentage points represent the tremendous work that our faculty and staff have continued to do. We're going to shift gears and now take a look at our special education community and hear from Mrs. Cassie Loudermilk and Ms. Carrie Wolf of our special education department. Ladies.
Okay, like Dr. Wright said, I'm Carrie Wolf, this is Cassie Loudermilk. We're the co-directors of exceptional education. And we're gonna highlight special education first, but exceptional ed oversees more departments than just special education. It includes 504 plans, which is for medically fragile students, McKinney-Vento Act, which is for our homeless population in Richmond, English language learners, and high ability students. To begin highlighting special education, you'll see that we had 1,355 students with IEPs last school year. So we have a significant amount of students with individualized needs. This is up 6% in the last 5 years. So we have a growing population in this area. We have started some new initiatives. We have a new IEP program for our students. That's our documentation. We will continue our social emotional learning. That's a district-wide initiative, but we will really hone in on the needs of our special education population. Okay. I'm gonna have Cassie, if we can figure out the clicker, highlight our other areas of English learners.
I think maybe our slides are out of order.
Are they?
Maybe.
They might be. We'll roll with the slides.
Good morning. As you can tell, special educators like Carrie and I are used to being behind the scenes, so we're not great at this presentation business. Carrie shared that we oversee English language learners, and we're sitting around 6% of our student population who receive EL services. That's about 360 students, and so we have interpreters in our buildings, we have EL teachers, most of them are licensed or seeking, they're all seeking licensure if they're not licensed, and they're a wonderful group of educators that we kind of forget that they're there because they are so in the trenches doing a great job every day. And then our high ability students are served, they're identified in grades K, 2, and 5, and those are students who are served either in their home building or they are pulled out into the Logos program for grades 3 through 8. This number up here for K to 4 is actually 96 students with our kindergartners recently identified. And then we serve our middle level and our high level. Our high school students usually are served through their AP courses, dual credit, or a combination of both of those. And it's about 9% of our population that are identified as high ability. And we are actually, one of the needs that our community has brought to us, our school community, is the transition of students coming from applied behavior centers into our buildings, and it's been new. These are students who may have never seen a classroom until 4th, 5th, 6th grade, and so it's a brand new world of supporting students who are not only cognitively disabled or experiencing autism, and also have no academics. And so we are holding an autism training tomorrow for all of our teachers, support staff, anybody who wants to attend to learn more about autism, so that we can try and serve this population, because it is brand new. So, all right, thank you.
And again, as Mrs. Loudermilk and Ms. Wolf referenced, our special education community is the largest, or I should say, the fastest growing community that we have in our school system. And so we, just last year, I made the decision to reallocate and repurpose particular central office positions to meet that need. And that goes, again, back to what I referenced about having unmatched services for our students. You won't find such in the county, and again, I would put us up against the state with anybody. Also, as you all can see, and as those who know me, I love to be humble. Also, as a middle child, naturally have to share the spotlight. And so thus is why, again, you're hearing from the village. Next up, we will hear how it all works, because when push comes to shove, as visionaries, we have great ideals. But if we cannot finance those ideas and or through our facilities bring such spacious environments, then they just remain ideas. Next up is Mrs. Karen Scalf, our Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Melissa Swafford, and Superman Steve Jones. Give them a round of applause.
Good morning. The Finance Department has had several changes over the past couple of years. From leadership changes to a leasehold bond issuance, software updates for efficiencies, and in the past couple of years, teacher raises and staff group raises. And now we are navigating all of the legislative changes. And with that, I will let Karen Scalf, our Assistant Superintendent for Operations, speak.
Thanks, Melissa. In the Finance Department, there is always a lot happening, but hopefully it's behind the scenes. So part of that is just knowing that as a school district, it has always been important to the school board and the administration that we're fiscally responsible. And as a part of that, making sure that we are ahead of what's coming as we navigate new things. So you've heard about a few new things today. We also are navigating new areas in the finance world. So legislative changes this year have impacted taxation across the state of Indiana to a pretty large degree as opposed to in the past. So we will see new things coming next year. We are working ahead of those as they will impact our school system. We are one of a handful of very few schools that will not see positive change in every area of this legislative amendment, but we are ahead of it and we are working through that. And so as a district, we'll be looking ahead to make sure that our budget remains balanced, that we are making sure that resources are there for each and everything that we need to do, and that we utilize those partnerships, so many of which that you have heard today, to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our students and our community. So we are excited as we look ahead in the finance area and move forward to make good things happen for the kids and the staff here at Richmond Community Schools. The next portion that I'll talk about are some really exciting opportunities that we have in the operations department, and that is to service our students in a way that they may not see at home. So you were provided the opportunity to see a little bit of what we do in our cafeterias each and every day this morning. A lot of the options that you were provided this morning at the breakfast are options that our kids get to see on a regular basis on their menus. We offer a really great variety of fresh and home-cooked meals through our partnership with Chartwell's K-12. And this year will be no different as we look at continuation and expansion of our partnership with new programs. This summer was the first summer that the U.S. Department of Agriculture returned to a format of what we, in layperson's terms, call grab-and-go meals. So our families have been able to take and stop by the high school and grab meals for a couple of days at a time, a couple of times a week, and they can have food at home for breakfast and lunch. So it has been a really great thing to get back to. We were provided that opportunity during the COVID years, and it has been something that about 270 families use each and every week at Richmond Community Schools. With that, we are also expanding school services, and I will not read the slide word for word. There are a lot of words on it, but basically what we are really excited to do is to provide evening meals to our students. We're going to begin at the high school and the middle school levels this year. We are hoping to expand that out. There are some rules with that the federal government does establish to make sure that everything is served appropriately and that students see the best service that they can. But with that, we are really excited to offer evening meals for each of our students. And with that, we'll be able to utilize that for athletics, for tutoring after school, and a lot of things that we otherwise would not be able to do without those programs. So, Mr. Jones, would you join me at the podium and talk about the other exciting things that were happening?
Steve Jones, and every time Dr. Wright refers to as Superman, I feel like I need to Venmo him like $10, but I will tell you is that to finish up what Ms. Scalf said is that I don't know if our students know how lucky they are to have Chartwells, because I remember getting here 6 years ago, and I'd always make the jokes and announcements, hey, we're having an orange chicken surprise, and the kids are like, what's the surprise? I was like, if it tastes like orange chicken, it's a surprise. So it's we are extremely lucky for food service, but one of the things that we are, the big thing we got going on right now is our facilities projects. And I've kind of heard a rumor that there's a roof going on over at Test, so that's coming along. But when we look at the other things, we have the dentist renovations, which, and I know Dr. Wright referred to it in the one of the first couple slides, the cultural atmosphere. When we have students that are sitting in classrooms for roughly 7 hours a day, is that we want them to be proud of where they're at. And that goes into that cultural atmosphere. So if you get a chance to look at any of the pictures from Dennis, they have the dentist green back rather than the key lime green that was on some of the walls, and it's a focus on just a quality learning environment, because we want to establish that school pride so the students can look around and say, man, I am so proud to be a dentist bulldog. And that's a big thing, is just get that self-pride. The other thing is we've also started the facelift on Test, which if you get a chance to be in Test or see, they've added purple, they've gotten rid of the outdated wallpaper, and it just looks gorgeous. They are the maintenance guys, who are probably the hardest working group I've ever met, are busy getting it back together, getting the rooms back together. But if you get a chance, just stop in and see just the work that is getting done in some of our buildings. It is incredible. The mayor referred to the semi-pro team coming in, and one of the things when I first got here, my family got here like 6 years ago, we went to a minor league game over there, and I had heard the aura and the legend of McBride Stadium, and I was like, wow, it's talk about your fixer-upper. And you look at what has been done by our group, it's incredible. Drive by, just take a look. It's incredible, and we are very, very happy that we have that Northwoods Baseball League coming in. So just add one more thing to Richmond for our families and our kids to do, because I believe they have 46 home games, somewhere thereabouts, so 46 games that the kids can come out to. So we also have changes in transportation, which I found out from Angie and Tim, would you guys raise your hand? They are phenomenal. They do a wonderful job. They actually have 31 bus drivers to start the year, which that is... And they have 3 more in the hopper that are going to be on in the next month or so. But 31 bus drivers means we are fully staffed, which for average person, what does that mean? It means we have kids that are going to be on the bus a lot less time because we're not doubling up routes. Yes, clap for them. That's it's something to be proud of. So we also have My Ride, which we can track students as we started last year, where they scan their ID to be on the bus so that we can track it and figure out exactly where the students are at. Not that we ever lose students here, but as I told Angie, if I lose a kid, I got to take a pay cut. So let's not lose any kids this year. So, so we got a lot of great things going on here. We are just hopefully everybody else can keep up with us because we are going to be leading the pack. So that's it.
And again, as Mr. Jones alluded to, we definitely are so appreciative of all of you and of all of our partners and of Sottle Student Transit, who's here, as well as Chartwell's, our food services vendor, who continue to keep our students' bellies full so that they can focus on academics and not the rumbling in their stomach. Next up is Mr. Stacy Mops, our Director of Human Resources.
When I first got this job, somebody told me I was the Dean of Adults. So I'm Human Resources. Some of the things we do for staffing and onboarding, HR department manages recruitment and onboarding to ensure the district attracts and retains high-quality staff, providing a seamless transition for new hires into their roles. We've seen an uptick this year. We've had quality licensed teachers apply for our jobs. We're still filling jobs. Some people think, why are people leaving Richmond? Well, we just had somebody resign just earlier this week because they're going home and they're going back to Ohio where they're from. And so there are a lot of reasons why people leave, and we're replacing them as that happens. Compliance, we're also, HR ensures the district remains in full compliance with federal, state, and local employment laws, maintaining accurate records, and implementing policies that promote a safe and equitable work environment. And then the last thing we do are benefits. The HR team administers employee benefits programs, including health insurance, retirement plans, and those things. Like, it was interesting when Dr. Wright was first up here talking about the social emotional well-being of the students. Well, we try to work with the social emotional well-being of our adults because it really starts there. And so we have that is part of our purview too. And then these are some of the things that we've done this year already, or in the past school year. We transitioned to our digital personnel files, so all files that of our current employees. We have scanned those and kind of updated those. We are trying to do, one of the things that we're working on now is electronic onboarding. When you get hired on Richmond Community Schools now, it's about 30 pages of paperwork that you fill out, and a lot of it is redundant. So we're working on shortening that up and to give that first experience by our employees a good experience there. And there's some other things there, and I won't read those to you as well. The last thing I want to say is HR, we take a lot of pride in that we are the first people that our employees interact with when they get here. And we want to have a great positive experience with them. We, even though we're going to do electronic onboarding, we're still not going to lose that human touch. We're still going to meet those people and try to help them out in all that they do. And a lot of times we're the last ones they see as they venture on to new activities, new work, or into retirement. We're the ones that, the last ones that they see for Richmond schools. And so we try to provide a positive for that as well. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over.
Thank you, Mr. Mobson. Two primary data points with regard to human resources that really speaks volumes. The first is that for some time, and Mr. Mobs will attest, and I believe this is the second year in a row, for some time, we now, for the past 2 years, have had more applicants than we have had positions and jobs, which speaks volumes. That always wasn't the case. And to know that we now have an abundance of candidates that want to come in and serve in Richmond Community Schools and serve our students, again, speaks to the efforts of our HR office, but also, most importantly, it speaks to our faculty and staff. And I believe the other data point with regard to human resources that really needs to be highlighted is the fact that for the third consecutive year, we have trend data that proves that morale amongst our teachers continues to grow. And I'd be remiss if I did not yet again refer to the most important people in our classrooms, our teachers. And I'd like to also thank the Richmond Education Association and all of our teachers who continue to pour into our students. And so again, from an HR standpoint, to know that your teacher morale is increasing year by year and your candidate pool continues to grow, something's definitely right there. Next up, we're going to hear from Mr. Alex Hazelbaker, our Director of Technology, who earlier this year, he, along with our entire corporation, were thrown a tremendous cyber security curveball, but he knocked it out of the park along with his team, and he's going to share that and some other elements about technology. Mr. Hazelbaker.
Good morning. Thank you once again. I'd like to thank once again our community leaders and representatives who've taken time this morning to attend our State of the Schools presentation. Your direct involvement is greatly appreciated, driving the importance and community collaboration and effort for our students here at Richmond Community Schools. Throughout the course of the last decade, Richmond Community Schools has stood out as a leader in educational technology within the state of Indiana. From becoming one of the earliest adopters in one-to-one digital textbooks, to the implementation and usage of artificial intelligence in the classroom to further enhance the learning experience for students. Technology has quickly become a staple in education and which students will continue to utilize throughout their educational career and onto their professional career of choice. As Dr. Wright alluded to, in recent history, Richmond Community Schools was the victim of a targeted cyber attack related incident during the 2024-2025 school year. While such a technological event was not ideal, as it created immediate disturbances to norms our faculty, staff, and students have become accustomed to, Richmond Community Schools prevailed, continuing to provide daily instruction and key critical support services our community and students rely upon each and every day. Although these successes during a time of uncertainty would not have been possible without the support of our local area community leaders and businesses, your unwavering support providing private mobile networks, enabling the ability for our faculty and staff to continue doing what they do best here at Richmond is greatly appreciated. Thank you. While unfortunate this event has led to many exceptional changes throughout our district, fostering a culture of awareness surrounding cybersecurity and the duties each individual faculty and staff member has in safeguarding our digital footprint. This cultural awareness has created newly established requirements and procedures adopted district-wide. Additionally, through the selection process of the USAC FCC Cybersecurity Pilot Program, Richmond Community Schools has become one of 700 districts throughout the nationwide receiving E-rate-based funding directly established for the procurement of cybersecurity hardware, software, and services, providing critical infrastructural enhancements to further advance our private network. Safety and security here at Richmond Community Schools remains at the forefront of our vision. Today, we continue to empower the use of technology throughout the district, recently implementing newer technologies for the use of student and visitor management. Through the implementation of Visitor Aware, new layers of accountability, transparency, and protection have been created to further assist in the assurance of safety and security for our students. Located at each school building, electronic kiosks are to be installed requiring all visitors to submit to a formal screening process. Through this process, identifiable information of all visitors is captured, securely stored, and ran against national databases, enabling school administrators and safety resource officers to be flagged immediately by the system, should a visitor who is not to be in the building be aware. Furthermore, thanks to the implementation of Visitor Aware, student arrival and departures are recorded through these electronic checkpoints, establishing accountability for student movement throughout the school day. As we move towards the future of technology at Richmond Community Schools, modernizing the classroom for today's learning environment will play a key role in student achievement and growth. Learning spaces equipped with the proper technology greatly improves student engagement and further emphasizes inclusiveness across the board. By introduction of classroom voice amplification and live instructional translation, all students shall be given equal opportunity to hear and learn from the teacher's instruction, regardless of their seating assignment. By way of network integration, this same system boasts additional safety and security features, making way for two-way paging to the main office or requesting immediate assistance to the classroom. When deployed effectively and methodically, technology can serve as an invaluable tool in education. The future is bright for students here at Richmond Community Schools. As a community, we continue to place students at the forefront of the pack, the leaders and innovators of tomorrow. Once again, I thank you all for your time and support this morning, as it takes a collaborative community to prepare students for a future of limitless possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hazelbaker. And as he alluded to, we definitely continue to keep our kids technologically safe. The saying goes, and has gone in our profession and in many areas, that students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And our next presenter, Mrs. Bridget Hazelbaker, our Director of Student Support Services and Communication, is going to share with you exactly how we care for our kids. Mrs. Hazelbaker.
And I'm the last speaker, so get ready. All right. Again, good morning, everyone. I'm Bridget Hazelbaker, the Director of Student Support Services and Communication. So I oversee attendance, different support services that we have for our kiddos. So just looking at attendance rates have gone up. Unfortunately, we do have an increased number of truants. So we have attendance liaisons in all of our buildings. So the tracking and the data points are just showing a spike and increase in that, but I think that's also due to reporting. This is my first year on the job, so it's been very exciting. Also, I just wanted to share, of course, I'd be the one to mess this up. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. And then I just wanted to thank also Meridian Health Services is providing those nurses in our buildings right now. So just taking a look at that number of clinic visits that we have in our buildings. So the number of kiddos that we have that are getting that care in our buildings has been phenomenal. So again, we'd like to really thank Meridian Health Services for that partnership. And as a added plug, they're having their Fit Fair this Friday at the high school. So health clinic, sports physicals, all those. So it's really great, exciting things happening. Mental health referrals have also been 173 students, so getting those students in to receive those additional services and support to hopefully stay in school that may help with any sort of mental capabilities. And then the basic needs that have been provided for our students, over 3,000 items have been collected. I also want to take a moment to thank Mr. Moore, Alan Moore, who's been helping the Handle with Care. We're able to get reports, those students who have been experienced some sort of trauma with law enforcement. So that has been something that we're using to collect those data points to help those kiddos, again, succeed, stay in school, and to help those families. So my part was supposed to be really short, so thank you. Oh, did I go do this too? Oh, I thought this was all right. So again, if you look at, let's say, little Johnny up here, we're hoping to see, when we're in the buildings, we want to know what kind of services or what support services. So it could be a school nurse, it could be a custodian, a teacher, a bus driver. The goal of the services of support and rounding our students around with wraparound services is to then monitor and find out what are those needs, what do those kids need to be successful, and then to connect my department or our departments to different community partners and who can help those kiddos. What different things do they need in their safety net to get them through, to be successful, to graduate high school, to be successful in life. So many of these data points, I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces. And again, I want to thank all of our community partners, Dr. Wright, helping us with our kiddos. So that's going to be a new focus. Richmond Schools is really moving forward with our community partnerships, Ivy Tech, IU East, you name it, and we have them there. So again, it takes a village. I think many of you may know my story with some things that I've done, and it does take a village, and very, very successful with my community, and I appreciate you all. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hazelbaker. And as she mentioned, it does indeed take a community. However, I'm not sure if you all saw the slide that had the school clinic visits. I think it was 43,468, if I'm not mistaken. And it took me back to C.R. Richardson Elementary School, when as a young child, kindergartner, I would spend each day with Mrs. Mary Vogelsang, God rest her soul, and Mrs. Gaddis, who was the nurse there at CR, who would take care of me and so many others who always just seemed to have a bellyache. And so that's 43,000 bellyaches that our Meridian Health Services nurses and other support staff are taking care of. Nevertheless, for far too long, public perception has painted an unfair picture of Richmond Community Schools. There are those who continue to measure us by outdated stereotypes, by narrative of limitation rather than possibility. But I stand before you today to offer the truth. Our students are achieving, our educators are innovating, and our schools are moving forward together. We now have measurable progress, showing that our outcomes are proving that our best practices are and will continue to be successful. Graduation rates are rising, literacy benchmarks are being surpassed, career and technical education enrollment continues to burst at the seams. Our students are not only achieving academically, they are mastering real-world skills. They're earning dual credits, industry-recognized certifications, and gaining hands-on experience in work-based learning environments that prepare them to lead in tomorrow's economy. Oh, and did I mention, for the second year in a row, Ms. Crystal Cooper, the proud principal of Dennis Middle School, I'll say it again, the proud principal of, yes, Dennis Middle School, has been recognized for her leadership skills as the Indiana Association of School Principals Principal of the Year for District 6. Ms. Cooper is here today. Let's give her a round of applause. And Ms. Cooper also represents the administrative team, again, faculty and staff that are, as I mentioned, unmatched. Of course, we celebrated Ms. Whoopi last year as a community. We have Ms. Laura Brazel there at Test doing amazing things, Mr. Stephen Hensley at Hibbert, and our elementary educators who continue to be the foundation and the crux for our students' future success. But numbers alone don't tell the whole story. What makes our progress even more meaningful is how we've done it, by believing in the potential of every child, regardless of which side of town they're growing up on, and or any and all perceived barriers that may be before them. We have leaned into equity, into innovation, and into accountability. We have focused on what works, and we have wrenched, repeated, and refined those best practices with urgency and intention. But the mission to overcome negative perception is not solely a task for educators. It is a community-wide calling. It takes a village to raise a child. And as we know, there's a second stanza, that any child not feeling the warmth of the village will burn it down to feel that warmth. And so as we have seen over the past few years with the increase in student achievement, the increase in attendance, the decrease in behavioral and disciplinary infractions, and also, yes, we have increased enrollment in our schools. We're seeing that again as a village we are doing and meeting that goal. We need business leaders who will open their doors to mentor, to hire, to invest in the talent being nurtured right here in our classrooms. We need civic organizations who will partner with our schools to expand access to health, safety, and social-emotional resources. We need a faith-based institution, our local governments, our parents, and yes, even our students to be part of this growing united force that refuses to accept mediocrity. This is not just a school district initiative, it is a community transformation movement. Because when our children succeed in the classroom, our entire city and our community win. So let us push forward, not to simply change minds, but to open eyes. Let us tell our story, not with defensiveness, but with pride. Let us lift our students, not with pity, but with promise. And most of all, let us walk arm in arm, educators, entrepreneurs, leaders, and neighbors, as we build the kind of village that every child deserves. The state of our schools is not only strengthening, it is rising, and your help will allow it to rise even higher. Thank you so very much for spending the morning with us. We'll be around for questions. We're also going to highlight and showcase the video of what RAM has done and continue to do as our longest-standing community partner. As I mentioned, as the city's second largest employer, and most importantly, as the city's vehicle for future success through our students. We need you. We need your help, and we need you to continue to do what you have done, and we're forever grateful. Thank you so much.